Welcome back to Breaking the Mold, career podcast for Black and brown fashion girlies. I'm your host, Dominique. Pull up a chair, girl. Let's get into it. Today, we have the wonderful, the incredible aesthetics curator, creative visionary, wardrobe stylist, Amber Bond. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
How you doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you on. Thank you for coming on. Here. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. What brought you to LA?
So I actually moved here to break into fashion, to explore what my options were like. Before I moved here, I worked for the federal government. Like, that was kind of my trajectory during my undergrad years and like for the first few years out, and I hated it. I'm like,
naturally.
right. I'm like, this is awful. I really don't think I could do this for the rest of my life. And I knew that in undergrad, but you make pretty good money by comparison to a lot of other jobs.
Yeah, other fields.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I was just like, okay, I really do not like this. I do not enjoy it. What am I going to do? I actually started talking to a few friends. My brother was dating a girl at the time who had actually gone to FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And I was like, okay. I explored the New York options, and I do not like winter. So, I realized that there was an option in LA. And I was like, okay, I'll go look into this. I'll go visit, see how I feel about it. I came here, did a tour, talked with an advisor, loved it. Loved the energy. Beautiful campus, is very small, like literally in the financial district of downtown. Like the way that it's set up, it just feels like creativity is like flowing through the hallways.
Yeah, because ASU bought them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different now. Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah. So do you use what you learned in school? I think about this all the time because I studied fashion merchandising in college too. I think back on it and I'm like, do I even use those skills in my job? How do you feel?
Okay. In order to be a stylist, you do not have to go to school. You don't need a degree.
A formal education.
Yeah, you don't need a formal education at all. However, like my program was visual communications, and basically there are a lot of skills that I did learn that I think have been really beneficial to me.
What's one that sticks out?
We learned a lot of the Adobe software.
Sure.
And granted, you could self-teach yourself.
It's different. Learning that in a classroom was preferred, for sure. Yeah.
Yes. So having that skill set has helped me to build out a website and do all these different things, even if it's at a very basic level. I have that understanding, and I do have that in my back pocket to rely on if I ever need it. And I actually use it a lot more than I thought I would. Even for mood boards, sometimes clients will request a mood board in advance, and they really want to see what you are going to deliver. Not even to say hypothetical. This is just an idea of what I would like, but
it sets the vibe, but it never looks exactly like,
rarely, because when you go shopping, it might be a different season. It might be like you have all these other barriers that
are working against you.
Yes, and you have to manage the expectation a lot more than I realized.
Well, that's what you said though. Like styling, it's like you have to learn on the job. So would you suggest like being an assistant stylist first, or like how did you, when you graduated, what was that like? Did you go right into styling? What was that period after graduation like?
I got connected with a stylist through someone who I knew from home. She knew someone who lived out here, and she's into fashion, and I had an internship within the first couple of months of being here. I was still in school. Yeah. So I was able to get some experience like around my own schedule at the time, working on a TV show. I didn't really get to do any buying, any pulling, any sourcing for that particular job. It was more or less organizing, like getting things ready for the talent. And it was a really, really cool job. But to answer your question, when I graduated, the job that I had before, my contract ended, and I was like, okay, now I have these student loans. I need to figure out like something so I could pay my rent and pay, pay these loans back.
Yeah.
So I just got like a job at a retail job. And it was
not
humbling.
For the week, yeah. I've worked many a retail job, not for the week. Not for the week.
No, working in service, humbling, even though, as a yapper, I'm like, oh, this is great. I can like talk to customers and help them. You still kind of do some of the things, but this is a customer and it's just different. And you're on your feet. It's similar, but it's a lot of a lot of things for like a little bit. I mean, and even during that time, I still did some creative projects here and there, but it was more or less for fun, and this is for survival.
Yeah.
Like,
I always tell my creative friends, like, there's the job that pays your bills, and then there's your real job, right? Because you want your real job to be the job that pays your bills.
Yes.
But it's not always like that. You kind of have to work up towards it. I get it.
You do. And I think that's the disconnect that a lot of us have, especially when you move to a new city. There's like the excitement, the energy of the city, all of these things. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can do this creative thing while you're still trying to learn it. And not even understanding sometimes, like when it comes to assisting and freelance, like what your pay might actually be like, and like how long it could take people to pay you, and just different factors that you don't have an idea that this is like how it's gonna go. At least for myself, I think that I had a very like naive and like idealistic version of like how it was gonna go and like how fast it was gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's never never that. No,
but you need that, I feel like, in order to like try it, you know, in order to like get into it. So,
and I have a friend who styles in New York, and sometimes the expectation is when you're starting off to work for free, so it's like you're almost never getting paid. So I did want to ask you, for the people looking for styling jobs, how do you decipher between who is a really good person to assist and learn from and who isn't?
Honestly, trial by fire. Like, you don't know when you meet some of these people that they're like not okay. And truly, like, I've had some experiences. I'm like, I will never work with them again. Like, I've had some really bad experiences, or I've had some experiences with some people, and I'm like, okay, this was actually like not too bad for me, but maybe a friend of mine worked with them also, and they had a completely different experience. And I'm like, oh, no, this is how this person is. Yeah. And it's kind of like, you really don't know.
So when you're in it, or I guess coming out of it, what are boundaries you would suggest setting? Like, what have you learned? Like, boundaries, like, okay, from here on out, if I see these traits in you, I'm gonna work with you. Oh,
okay. I think there's an expectation for people to like work, not eat during the day. There's like a little abusive, to an extent. If people send me long instructions, like paragraphs of things in preparation, it's kind of a sign like, okay, maybe they're like very, very type A, which is not bad. I know that I'm not. But it's like,
our personality is going to work well together. If you're that intense and I'm more type B.
Yeah. I'm trying to, other things that like have been signals. Sometimes if this person has like an excessive amount of assistants or interns, like if their turnover rate is like
super high.
Yeah. And again, you don't know until you're in it.
Yeah.
And occasionally if you ever meet their other, because you will probably cross paths if you're assisting, like you'll meet their other like people, and like you will know. They will say all of the ways in which this person has them like up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, oh. Yeah. Like, and not too long ago, I actually worked with someone who, very experienced, a friend of mine, like another stylist, had recommended. I started working, and I was literally just doing, like, which is kind of the case sometimes. You literally just end up doing the prep work for someone else, like all of the prep work by yourself.
Intense.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's like, I'm good at this, so I'm like, oh, this is light work. But also, this person is literally in their house, I feel like in their bed, sending me instructions. And again, like...
It's like, I'm working 12-hour days on my feet, you know, running all over the town, trying to get all these pieces.
Literally.
Styling is very physical work.
It's labor intensive.
And you just have a feeling,
Well, I'm like, if you have the time to literally, like, map out my day in precise time, to the minute...
That's just micromanaging, though. And I feel like in any position, it's hard to work under those conditions.
Yes, but how can you do that if you're also working, is my question. I don't have the time when I'm busy to like micromanage my assistants. Like, it doesn't make sense. This particular woman micromanaged, and this was like the first time I worked with her, did this, and then slid a contract on the desk as I was like prepping things for her job or for this particular job.
Right.
And I thought this was weird. No one has ever given me a contract. Like for, especially like I'm not her full-time person. I'm literally just here helping you out. And it was like post-strike. So like things had started to pick up. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. And like I read it and I'm just like, this is worded very weird. And met another assistant. She did not give anyone else this contract or this agreement. It was a very shady and like weird thing. And I had a fitting in her studio. She had a camera in there. There was no signage that let me know that there was like I could see it on the shelf. But as I'm doing this fitting with a minor and their parent, I see the light on the camera come on.
And people think they're slick. They think that we can't tell they're checking the camera.
Girl.
Like, because when it's blue, I know you're watching. When it's red, I know you're recording. And that's crazy that's a minor, too. It's like, why? Honestly, and why wasn't she in the room?
She pretended to be sick. She was a very weird, again, not okay, very strange, like, interaction and whatever. But when I saw the light on the camera go on, I don't really have a poker face.
Yeah.
And I've actually toned down my expressions, like my reactions.
Not that. As a very expressive person, I understand. Yeah.
But I looked at the camera and I was like,
hello.
I was like, is she kidding me?
Right.
like, is she serious right now? And then the light went off when I like looked at it and was like,
I can see you. Boo.
It was so embarrassing.
Oh, why embarrassing?
Because it's like, okay, I'm basically interceding for you. You know what I mean? Like I'm interacting on your behalf. I'm showing up. I'm being professional. If you wanted to be present, you could have been on a Zoom.
Or on here,
Or here. But you could have been like a physical presence on the computer or something like that.
We could have found a compromise.
Exactly. Yeah. But to,
tap into your Ring camera.
Girl, I was like, oh, this is strange. Like, this is weird.
When you work with neurotic people who micromanage, people who are just really intense, how do you get out of those situations? Do you still just fully see the project through? How do you navigate that?
Typically, I've seen the project through. Again, I love what I do, and I'm pretty good at it. So I feel like getting through interacting with the client and doing all these other things, like, it's fine. But it's like, if I have to interact with this person or they're stressing me out to a point where, like, I just can't, I don't like this, I will terminate, like, our, relationship after that. Yeah. Like, in that case, I just...
Been fun. Appreciate your time. I'm going another way.
Professionally, you know what I mean? Departed ways via email. And in that particular instance, or in other cases, it's just kind of like, if they happen to reach out to me after this project is done, I am not available. Yeah. I am booked that day. Like, I hate to be like that. And I feel like as a freelancer, sometimes it's like, can you really afford to be like that? But you really have to choose your sanity.
Yeah.
Like
over
I said,
boundaries.
This.
I mean, you work so hard, you put in so many hours. And if it is a project that's day, night, crazy hours, like you said, you have to protect your sanity and your mental health. So I get it. How do you go about finding your roles? Or you said you have assistants, so both. Like, how do you find things that are perfect projects for you? And then how do you find assistants that you think would be good partners in those projects?
When it comes to finding work, a lot of it is really a matter of networking. A lot of the jobs that I've gotten, I could have been working on a project and it could literally be the project from hell. But I'm sure this has happened where I've been on projects and I'm like, oh, this is awful. I'll never work with this person again. But I'm still showing up as myself. Like, I'm still having a good time. So people are like receptive to my personality. Like, they like that energy. We spend long days together on these jobs. So they're like, oh, and they refer me to other people for other jobs. You know what I mean? So, like, that horrible job could have gotten me 5 more great jobs that could lead to other things. Or a lot of times it's like, okay, like, there are some, like, apps or, like, websites that are, not to say decent. Every now and again, you'll find a job and you might get, like, a project through those. But a lot of it is really referral, quite honestly, or like just kind of, I like to think of sometimes producers as like my production family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But if you work well together, like you do good work, you deliver, they'll want to bring you back. Yeah. You know what I mean? They'll want to bring you back, and they'll continue to hire you. Yeah. So it's kind of
and then the assisting aspect.
Yes. So for me, since there was a period of time where like I was assisting like regularly a couple people who I like loved working with, you know what I mean? And on some projects, it like larger things, they might have more than one assistant. So you'll meet other people and you get a good idea of like how your working styles are. And like if you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's not even so much I really like this person, and that does play a factor. We work really well together. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Even if whoever is lead is not present and I'm here in that capacity, we work really well together and they're efficient, if I, you know. So that's a good way. Or it is a matter of referral, and that can get really tricky.
Yeah. Like, well, just because we work well together doesn't mean we're going to work well together. And it's, yeah.
Well, occasionally, and this has happened to me too, like... someone needed an assistant, and sometimes you'll just literally like hit up other people that you've met and like, you know, see if they're available, and if they're not, they'll just like refer other people. And you know, occasionally if that's just not really fruitful, maybe worst case scenario, socials, you know what I mean? I'll post on a story like, need an assistant for
whatever project I'm working on.
I won't even say the project. I might give like some very minor details.
Yeah.
But you know, and even if you say experience, people lie.
They do.
So like, you know, you just really don't know what you're gonna get. And I think at this point, like, I just don't want to be embarrassed when, you know, like, I need to know how this person works, or I need to really trust. And even that gets complicated and tricky, whoever recommended this person. So I've been fortunate to find, like, not to say pretty good assistants, but I do have other people who I'm like, no, if they're available, I want them. Like, this is the person who I really want.
I will wait.
That's my preferred assistant.
That makes sense. Yeah. So for my friend listening, what websites or apps do you recommend for either looking for work, looking for assistant work?
Okay, so there is a website. It's Staff Me Up. I really don't want to plug them like that. Like, honestly, I feel like, again, it's hit or miss. Like, It's really, really hit or miss. I think that sometimes your best option might be kind of like finding producers. Finding producers.
Like decision makers, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. Or like if you follow stylists, if you like their work,
just like cold calling, DMing them,
DM them. Yeah, honestly, DM them. I feel like contact them, email them if they have their email in their bio, which a lot of people do.
That's Googleable too. Like if they have a professional website, it's pretty easy to do your research and find it.
It is. Yeah, it really is.
So how would you suggest framing either that DM or that email? Like, what would you include? What do you absolutely not include? Like, how much is too much?
Okay. I would say, of course, you need to like have some contact information in this email, your level of experience. Maybe if you've worked on some projects before, or there are certain like types of projects that you've worked on, that is helpful.
And be honest, because they want to make sure you're experienced.
No, seriously, we'll know.
Don't ruin your reputation.
We will know, and it's kind of like, people will get sent home. You don't want to be the person who gets sent home from a project. That's really like. It's not good.
You just want like a really strong reputation, and you want it to precede you too, like you're saying. So if it's all word of mouth and how you get hired, you want to be forefront in the email. Okay, so your level of experience and projects you've worked on,
projects that you've worked on, or even honestly, even if you don't have experience, but you want to learn more. Like, you can be enthusiastic and say, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about this." Like, can I intern with you? Can I shadow you? Something like that is like, you know what I mean? People, a lot of times, like, they want interns. Like, a lot of people want free help. You know what I mean? And not to say, like, But they want free help.
Especially if you're enthusiastic about it, you know, just having a positive attitude and like, I'm very passionate about the work that I'm doing. And this is why I believe in you. And this is why you're my favorite stylist. And I also follow these people. Like, I would feel like if I got an email like that, I'd read it and be like, okay, like, you know what you're talking about. Even though you're not experienced, I might still take a chance on you because you know your stuff. You did your research, you know?
Right. And I feel like, honestly, sometimes if you speak more to like their work, like, yes, it shows that you did the research. Some people don't like to hear certain things because they're, you know, in their experiences, they get like, not to say very precious about the work, but like the industry is competitive. It's very competitive. And some people get like really nervous. Hence why I think that lady sent me that contract. Like, like people are kind of like, okay, I don't want you to be a threat to my work and to my, you know, my bread and butter, but I want the help. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to find a really like sweet spot, a good balance between like sometimes managing people's egos a little bit and like also just being like, hey, this is something that I'm really interested in and like I want to learn more. Because again, if you've not done it, you might have a different expectation for what is actually happening or like what you're going to get out of this.
For sure. I like that you said managing people's egos because I have a friend that works with some pretty like B-list clients and she'll tell me about certain experiences and she's like, you just got to do what you want sometimes. Like you have to just let him control or let him think he's in control, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like even when you're assisting or interning, you kind of got to get used to that with your boss. It's like all prepping you for hopefully the bigger level clients, you know, bigger ticket clients. Managing people's egos. Yeah, that's good advice.
It's really necessary. Like, again, and usually it's been with the people who've been my biggest headaches, I guess.
Sure. And sometimes it's like that also is the one project that for some reason gets you a step further.
Exactly.
It speaks to your reputation. You know, like all of a sudden your name is in people's mouths. So it's like you just got to get through that really tough.
You do. No, you really do. You really do. You absolutely do. And honestly, sometimes you have to kind of like check yourself and remember, like, I think that a lot of times people have the expectation like, oh, I'm fashionable, I can put these things together, and like you're pretending as if you're dressing yourself or your friends, and that's not what it is.
That is not it. So many people have told me, like, because I've been in between jobs so much in the past couple of years, but people are like, you should just style. I'm like, I couldn't do it. Like, I'm a corporate girly. I can read the numbers and know what to do for the masses, but to meet a person, to know what's trending, to tailor it to your specific style, that's not easy.
No.
And you have to know where all the fashion houses are to go and get the pieces. You have to be in good standing because depending on who you're working with, they don't always want to give the pieces back. You know, there's so much that goes into it. You can't just step into styling. You have to set yourself up for success.
You do. But I feel like you can find ways to kind of like, again, on more creative projects, which I feel like those are not typically like your client, you know, like your client projects or like whatever this thing is, it's not about you, it's about what they want.
Always.
It's always about what they want and staying within their budget and doing, you know, like delivering what they need.
Yeah.
When it's your passion project or you just want to do something creative and, you know, whatever. And I think that is also like the best, I don't know, like the best opportunity for you to really showcase like what you can do. Like sometimes those editorial projects that people don't really get paid for, those are the things that kind of like showcase like the creativity and like, oh, you can with no budget, with no seriously,
yeah,
with no budget, with no finances,
you have $20. Run
literally,
with it.
Literally,
in this economy.
Honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, that's one of those things. Like, I really wish that I like. I don't know, when I had kind of like first started out, I was like really trying to explore it. Like I had leaned into that a little bit more. And honestly, I think that like having limited resources forces you to be creative, right? So you kind of like really have to figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah.
And like just truly lean into that. Like go in your closet and pull out the most random stuff, things that you like. I've seen people style shoots with like a pair of stockings and like a swimsuit. It's like, so it's like, And the photos come out amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, you did that. I could have just pulled out some random stuff, like,
and put it together. And it's all about the creative vision too, and like you said, just seeing it all the way through.
Truly. Truly.
So talk to me about freelance work. Pros, cons.
So, okay.
There was a lot of weight in that.
Freelance. So, okay, it's somewhat flexible, if that makes sense. Like, my schedule is not normal.
What's it like?
It's very, okay. So there are sometimes, let's use the month of June, for example. Super busy for me. I had a couple projects lined up in advance. I was like, great.
I'm like, girl, I'm going to get paid.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, so I know for like this 3 days, I'm going to work on this project. You know what I mean? But it's 12-hour days, right? Whatever. I know that this client, I don't really need to do much prep work. I just kind of like, show up, do my thing. E-commerce, fantastic. And then I go home. Like, love it. Then there's this other client. This is like a out of town situation. This is a whole week of my time. Still kind of like a 12-hour day. You know what I mean? Like,
but when they're out of town, you kind of have to think of all the out of town expenses too. Where am I staying? Where am I eating?
Depending on the client.
They should cover it?
Sometimes, but depending on how you work, you might go and work as a local. And if you're working as a local, that is when you have to figure out, where am I going to stay? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do?
I don't think I know what that means.
So when you're working as a local, that would be like someone from, let's say, Atlanta comes here. They're taking on this project. And because they're working as a local, they're not, like, their expenses are not being covered. Like, their flight is not going to be covered. Their room and board is not going to be covered. They're probably not going to get a meal stipend unless it's in your contract. For some people will put it in maybe for, like, prep days and, like, returns and things like that. It's very specific. And you can ask for more, maybe, but you don't know if it's dependent on...
And would that, like, make it harder to get the project then, if you're like trying to negotiate too hard? Like, how do you suggest trying to negotiate that then? Or
I think it depends on your relationship with who you're negotiating this contract with.
Sure.
Like, if you've worked with them for a while, maybe they're a little bit flexible. Or if you could talk to some people sometimes, and you can seriously, which is not done enough. Talk to some other people who are on this job, see kind of like what they have getting covered, and you might be surprised what you can ask for and what will be covered. Some client, like the particular client that I worked with, they booked my flight. They reimbursed my travel to and from the airport. They reimbursed like at least my meals during travel. That was going to be reimbursed. Yeah. I got a stipend for my meals. They booked the hotel. Nice. Yeah. So all I had to do was just kind of like get to the airport, pack my bag, have my things ready. And it was not very stressful in that like instance. But that is a corporate client, so that's a little different versus like a more commercial or even like a longer format like TV or video situation. Like it might be completely different.
Okay. How forthcoming is that information when you get gigs? Like, how would I know the difference between a local or like a fully stipend role?
So a lot of times they'll tell you that they'll tell you if you're applying for it somewhere. Sure. Okay. They'll say like must be willing to work as a local, or it's like local. Like it's like there's some specific verbiage before you even. Oh yeah. I don't think I really knew when my client, like this was actually the first time I had traveled with this particular client. I've worked with them a lot, but now they've started to bring me on to like go to different cities. So I didn't know what to expect, but I've seen, when everyone else travels, they get a stipend. And I said, oh, okay.
How do I get one of those?
Yeah. And I'm like, they're all staying in the same hotel, so I know that this is already being covered by the client, or, like maybe they'll mention it to you. And then eventually, like if they send you a contract, you'll see, or like you can, even like whenever I see my contract, if there's something that's missing, I just send an email.
Hey, I require this.
Well, I just ask like, hey, can I also be, reimbursed for X, Y, and Z? If I see it on there and it's not like checked off, I'm like, oh, I can.
Hello.
Let me just see. Because, I would rather them tell me no than I tell myself no.
Yep.
And, it's not the worst to just ask quite honest. And even with like other producers, like on local projects, sometimes you can just ask and you'd be surprised what they're willing. Exactly. Anything that you don't have to like come out of pocket for, even in advance, like that's a pro. Now, one of the cons is like net pay. Net pay is
you start off with that cute 30 and then it's 60, 90. It's been 6 months. Like,
let me it is like, that is
net pay can be frustrating.
Very, you know, like thorn in my side. And usually most of my clients have been like a net 30 and they typically pay before that.
Good.
But,
That's good.
But especially when I was like an assistant, that's when it got really tricky because I didn't, or for a long time, I did not set payment terms with people that I was working with. Again, altruistic, like, oh, this person, they're going to be a good person. They're going to pay me.
Yeah. No.
And, you know, even people who I loved working with, if you take months to pay me, if you forget or you pretend like you forgot to pay me.
Pretending is nuts. I know they do it. But it's again, reputation.
It is. And it's like, again, I'd like to feel like this person would not do that, but you never know what people are dealing with and going through. But also, if you're willing to snake me.
And just because you're a good person and we might get along, it doesn't mean you're a good business partner.
That part. That right there. Okay?
Because pay me my things. Yeah.
Pay me my things, pay me on time. So now, you know what I mean? If ever, like I try to just not really do that very much. I'm like, I have my own projects. But I will put in payment terms if I don't see something. I'm putting in payment terms.
That's important. Because what am I doing this for?
Absolutely. And I'm the kind of person, because again, I was a Fed, so I'm like, a contractor. I'm like, oh, pay me in 2 weeks.
Yes.
14, net 14. Pay me 2 weeks. Thank you.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. When this is done, my job is done. I wrap this thing out.
I need to be paid. Yeah.
Like, by this date. So, yeah.
Yeah, that net is a con.
It's a scam, because I'm like, this project is dropped, and why are these people not paid? We did the work on time.
Yeah. So, do you want to continue doing freelance? Like, is anything any cons that are holding you back, or any pros that just make it like really satisfying, really worth it?
Okay, the frequency. So although, like, you know, I have a pretty good day rate, you know, on some jobs where it's like, okay, this can sustain me for a while.
Day rate meaning this is what I get paid per day I'm working.
Yes, because a lot of times you're not getting, or they don't break it down hourly when they present you with your rate.
Okay.
Yeah, more unless they're using some kind of like third party payments platform. It's like it's a day rate, and until you go into overtime, that's when you need to calculate your hourly. But
because we're getting paid.
Because we're getting paid. That's extra.
Yes.
Yeah, that extra time.
Yeah.
So essentially, when they present you with your day rate, it's like, I don't know, it could be really, really good. And like I said, it can sustain you for a while, maybe like this couple days or this week or 10 days, however long this project is, might be really, really good. But also, like, because you're waiting on payments and you're doing all these other things, and your bills, you know what I mean, like, they come on a consistent, you know, in a timely manner,
Yeah,
right?
They sure do.
Yeah. But you don't really know unless you're like really, I don't know, like, and I feel like even if people are like really on top of it and they have a lot of consistency, there's always going to be downtime. And you can't really predict exactly when it's going to happen or like for how long it might be. So if you're not good with managing your money, or if you're not already set up in a way where it's like easier to spread this out, it's going to be really, really hard to manage it. And that's not fun. And most people will never even admit like how hard it is.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate your honesty.
You know, listen, I'm like, I gotta give you the real.
Yeah, you have to. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that then with the downtime?
So, okay. I feel like the way that I operate in my survival mode is like, it's not even so much that it should be studied. It's like, I can pinch and like really just like, I don't know, make my financial decisions, like, I'll just be really lean for a while in the ways that I'm just kind of like moving, versus if I'm like, you know, I don't know. I operate really differently when my funds are like great.
Yeah.
So
what advice can you give to someone who is in freelance work or is looking to do freelance work if they are doing well right now or a sense of downtime is coming? Like, what would you say to, you know, prep for it?
Think of your future self. Like, you really have to think of your future self when you're up, truly, and figure out how to like prepare for that downtime. Because honestly, again, you never know when it will happen, and because it's outside of your control. It's an external factor you just really have to consider. So either find another way to bring in some coins, you know what I mean? Figure out how to like save that money, or not even just save it, but maybe figure out how to get it to grow while you're working on this other job, so that you can have something else if for whatever reason work slows. It's easier to find a job when you have a job mentality.
Yeah.
Because like when you're in survival mode, it's hard to like really figure out, or it takes a lot more time than you realize to navigate everything outside of that, and then you're stressed.
Sure. Even as I've been looking for a job, I'm like, can they smell the desperate on me? Like, do the recruiters know that I have bills to pay? Like, why are you running away screaming, hire me, please? You know? But it's definitely like that with freelance too, where it's like, you definitely have to get your ducks in a row. Like you said, when you're up, so when you're down, it's like,
ideally, that's how you want to operate. And even there's a lot of times people are like, oh, what's your other job? And I'm just like, other job?
This is what I do. I make it work. Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
So you definitely have to be in the right mindset.
Truly.
To be able to thrive when your paycheck is inconsistent.
Absolutely. And it's just not easy.
So I also want to talk to you about Blaze and Sparkle. Yes, she's an entrepreneur. You also have a website that sells clothing and jewelry and all that fun stuff. So how do you balance your freelance work and also managing your website at the same time?
So that's honestly something that I'm still navigating. Truly, I think that it's been one of my biggest challenges. I can give like a ideal version of how I would want to balance it. Realistically, this would be get some processes in place, you know what I mean? Plan in advance, schedule everything, and automate. Like, and I think that's if I was, not even to say if I was more disciplined, because it's something that I'm really, really working on now, is like the discipline element and the consistency. Because again, I'm not a type A person. I'm very like not so much super whimsical. I can be really serious and like on whatever, but it's the automation and all of these things that I'm like,
tools that help.
Yes,
for sure.
Right now I'm like, okay. Or like last night, for example, I was like locked in. Me and AI. I'm like, okay, let me plan. Let me do all these things.
ChatGPT, my bestie. Girl,
my assistant?
She is right there. My first speed dial.
Hello. I'm like, while y'all are asking for like therapeutic advice on your boyfriend, I'm like,
I'm running a business. I said, my bills are paid. Yeah.
I'm like, marketing plan.
Yes.
I'm like, create this schedule.
Yeah.
Like, give me a shoot schedule. Give me all of these things. Like,
that's so smart, though. Yeah. I never thought about using it in that way.
Oh, my God. That is the game changer. I feel like that. And then for me, one of the biggest helpers, and when it comes to me being consistent, the accountability, is having a mentor, a good mentor. Like, that has been the thing for me that's really forced me to switch gears a little faster. Yep. This freelance job finished. Now it's like, oh, I have a meeting with my mentor. Okay, I need to make sure that either, not to say I'm on top of my stuff, but I come to this meeting with something and I'm not just sitting there like, oh, hey, girl.
Like you said, it's just nice to have something to hold you accountable, because you're not going to show up to your mentor,
No, you're not going to embarrass yourself that way.
No.
Yeah. And they're also there to help you. You know what I mean? And if they have this knowledge that you might not have, they can give you some tips or just give you a little bit more guidance.
Sure. Yeah.
To help you, not even just not so much focus, because they're not there to manage your schedule, but they can give you some tools to help you get better organized and help you stay on top of it. And even the AI assistant, that was definitely something that one of my mentors kind of put me onto and really encouraged me. And she literally walked me through how to utilize it in this way. So nice. And now I've just figured out how to tailor it. And since it's, chat has gotten a little more advanced and
smarter.
And the other platforms have gotten a little bit advanced. Now I know how to prompt better to get what I need from it versus just playing around, just asking questions. I'm getting super specific.
Okay, good. Yeah.
With question and output.
That makes sense. So your mentor, how did you find them? How do you, in a world where everybody is very cutthroat and the industry is so competitive and everyone's afraid you're going to take their job, how do you find a mentor? How do you keep a mentor? Because I've had 2 to 3 and they're either not in fashion or they just get so busy with their own stuff they don't even have time for an hour a week, an hour a month, whatever it is. They don't even have time anymore, which I get, because essentially mentorship is free in a perfect world. So how do you navigate that?
For me, actually, one of the resources that I've loved to tap into has been Los Angeles Urban League. It's my little plug there with them. And I feel like they actually have an entrepreneurship center.
Oh, awesome.
In addition to, there's a couple other resources for small business owners in the city. Really, I think it's a matter of figuring out locally to you, what is available. Because there's actually a lot of resources at your fingertips. And sometimes most of my mentors, actually none of them work in fashion. Okay. You know what I mean? They actually have other skill sets. So
you find that translatable?
No, because those are the areas that I'm weaker in. You know what I mean? One mentor was, in marketing, and that was something that I really wanted to expand my skill set in. And then another one, she's an accountant. Bookkeeping is necessary
when
for
you
your
have a business. Oh my gosh. And I mean, when you're such a creative, when you're such a fashion girly, that's the last thing I want to do.
Exactly. No, seriously, it is literally the last thing.
I do not want to keep a single book. Those numbers, oh my goodness. Yeah.
But that is super important.
Sure,
it's super, super important. I don't think a lot of times we realize how imperative it is to know your numbers.
Or I'm not getting paid, or all of a sudden we're in bankruptcy. You know what I mean? No, you have to watch your numbers for sure. It's just not the fun part. It's not the glamorous part.
Exactly. Yeah. If I want to go to a showroom, you can't just go and make an appointment and pull. They need something. Mm-hmm. They need a deposit. You know what I mean? They need something while you have these things out on loan. You need to make sure that you have the funds available.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's part of your job. You don't want to turn down a client because you don't have
no money in the bank.
You know what I'm saying? So
don't
you
be
really,
that girl. Yeah.
You really need to know. You need to know your numbers, and even when it comes to traveling and anything like that, you have to have the means to get to that job. You have to have something there. So you really need to know your numbers, and if you want to grow your business, you might need some financing. They're going to ask for your numbers. They want to know how you've spent this money.
Yeah.
How much you bring in. You need to know these things. That's not sexy at all, but it's fun sometimes to oh, okay, I brought in this much. This is how much it's increased in comparison to last quarter or last year.
Of your success.
It is.
Yeah.
So I feel it's really important, and I do find it valuable to have mentors that are completely unrelated to my area of expertise. I have friends who I've worked with, friends who also work in the same industry. If they feel comfortable and we have conversations about work and things like that, that's great. But we all operate a little differently.
Sure.
And I don't necessarily need a mentor in that area as much as I feel I need in these other areas. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Even that could help me get work. If this person knows how to utilize SEO, they can help me get some leads that way versus me having to cold email or reach out to people.
And even, again, just within the network, people know people. And I was talking to a friend the other day. She's a DJ, and she was like, I really want to do a fashion show at this venue. And I was like, oh, who are you talking with? Like, what creatives do you know? And she was like, I know a few people. And she was like, I forgot you're in fashion. I was like, yeah, girl. Like, I did a couple shows back in my day. If you any need like logistical behind the scenes help,
yes,
I got you. And that's a direct relationship. But even with mentorship, sometimes it's like, you know, someone in marketing, they know someone who is working a shoot, they know someone who needs help on a commercial. It's like, oh well, I actually it's all connected.
It is,
yeah.
And yes, like my marketing mentor, for example, definitely has connected me. Like, I've done and dibbled and dabbled in other types of projects, like, oh, I want to do this pop-up, I want to do this. And she's connected me with people who've done logistical things or done other programs, connected me with distributors for film and entertainment. Like you never know who they know. And they're like, if a lot of times it's a matter of like, okay, top of mind, who can I think of? Who can I recommend?
Yeah.
And me having that relationship, I want to be the first person that she thinks of when something comes up and she's like, oh, let me connect you with such and such. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of mentors that we want.
Yeah. How do you pick a good one, a good mentor?
Okay. So I think that honestly, people reveal themselves the same way in working with someone else. I can decide like, oh, this working style isn't for me, or like the way that this person moves and operates doesn't work for me, or I'm like, they're very problematic in a way that I can't stomach. Yeah. And I'm gonna go to my car pissed every time I have to go somewhere. I think mentors are the same way. Honestly, I've had some experiences with people like horrible, but those are not the bulk of my experiences.
That's good.
Which I'm really fortunate for. And like one woman, like,
I'm like, oh no.
No, we had a call and she started talking about her boyfriend, and I was literally sitting there like, what is happening? I'm like,
yeah, this isn't what we're supposed to be talking about right now. Like, definitely keeping it professional.
Yeah.
And my time is precious, especially because you do freelance work and trying to have a successful business. It's like, I have a lot to do. I cannot just give you an hour that's not productive.
Literally.
And we talked about your personal life the whole time. Like, show up in these spaces professional, please, especially because you're my mentor. You're supposed to be giving me the advice and the groundwork.
And the funny thing with that particular situation, I actually, I hopped on the call on time or maybe like a little early, and she was meeting with someone else. So I just like turned off my camera, muted myself, and like the conversation was completely different. And I think that I kind of needed to like witness that to be like, okay,
why is it different with me?
Exactly. And I'm just like, disgusting. But like, this is not going to be beneficial or fruitful for me.
Right.
Like, so I'm good on this. You're lucky I don't report you.
Yeah. No, seriously.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
But really. And then, other situations, it's like, I had an experience with someone who I knew a little bit, not to say like outside of that like professional realm. So I was able to at least have a conversation and be like, listen, this is not like, you can't do this. Mm-hmm. Like, you're fortunate that it was me. You know what I mean? And like, I can say this to you, but this can't happen. Like, this is just extremely unprofessional. Like, I really had to be like, hey.
Yeah, let me hold your hand. Like, yeah, we can't do this.
Like, let's not. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to be a professional, you need to be a professional, and like.
And let that be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, kind of handle it however you see best, but always maintaining a level of professionalism regardless of the situation, because again, that's external and it's not personal. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you mentor anybody?
I don't. I actually wanted to. I really did want to. You gave me a good reminder. Because there are a lot of programs in this city that like allow for you to mentor. There's different like opportunities. Mm-hmm. And one of my core values is definitely like giving back. Absolutely. So yeah, it's definitely something that like I really, really want to do.
Sure. Oh, no, absolutely. So mentorship, that seems like it's on the docket. Ultimately, where do you want to take your career? Like 20 years from now, you want to look back and say, I did what?
Okay. 20 years from now. Okay. I hope, well, not even say I hope, but at that point, I I would really want to be able to sit and say, okay, I've done work that's like shifted the culture, impacted the culture, like things that are kind of like, you know, like
work.
stand the test of time, like in terms of like freelance projects. And even with my business at that point, I would hope to, you know, have not just say sold it off or or, you know, not
Sometimes
have to do it day to day.
It's nice to be the founder and not the CEO, though.
Yeah.
Because it's so successful. It's worth so much. Someone's going to come, buy it, do all the work, and I just collect the funds on the back end.
Seriously. I would want to see, like, where the things that I've started evolve and how that, like, I mean, in ways that are, like, amazing and impactful.
Yeah.
Like, that is how I will measure my success, is really based on, like, my impact. And not having to work. Like, I don't want to be, you know,
72, still running the showrooms.
Yeah. Absolutely not. I'm like,
I can't do that. Yeah.
No. I don't want
like you said, though, I think we have to start thinking about it now, no matter where you're at in your career journey, like being able to set yourself up for success. Not only what's Dominique going to be doing 6 months from now, but what you're going to be doing 6 years from now, you know,
seriously,
and beyond. Because honestly, every decision you make can impact the future, you know.
It can. It definitely can. And it's not, like I said, it's not something that a lot of times we think about in the moment, especially depending on what's happening in your life. It's hard to think like that.
Yeah.
But you really do have to, like, think future me.
Yeah.
Like, more often than not. Like,
how do you balance living in the present as a stylist, being able to style and be present at your job, and then also thinking about future you and making sure the financials make sense?
Well, I can say that, like, a lot of times when I'm on projects, depending on the pace, because some things are like a hurry up and wait, and some things are like we're going right now. I don't have much downtime at all. Maybe I don't have an assistant present that day, and I'm just like running back and forth, and I can check my emails at lunch. You know what I mean? So I try to give my energy to the project to an extent, but also, like, I'm addicted to my phone. I'm addicted to my email. So I'm like, okay, what do I have coming up? And I'm trying to be, like, responsive. But I think the best way to balance, I don't know, consider just some projections. Like, I don't know. Sometimes when you know you're going to get paid, sometimes people, like, you spend the money in your head in advance, right?
And then it actually comes when you spend it again.
Yeah.
It didn't hit twice, girl.
It didn't hit twice.
Yeah.
So I feel like, again, when it comes to, like, knowing your financials, knowing your numbers, knowing what you need, like, you need to have a really, really clear picture of, like, what that is. And that can, like, paint this picture a little bit better for you. Okay, this is what I need. This is what I'll have. Okay, I have this other project. This is how much I'm going to get from that. This is how much, you know, I'll need or whatever. You need to be really, really clear and really intentional, which is not always the easiest. Like, you know, sometimes you just want to do what you want to do. You know, live freely, do whatever, but you cannot.
You can't. No.
You're an adult. You're to be responsible.
We're all grown here. Yeah, that's fair. So if you could give little you one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say trust yourself more. Trust yourself more. And really just, like, see this thing through.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay. That's good advice. Are you ready to do a little rapid fire?
Okay,
we're going to play this or that. All right. So I'll say a few things and you tell me which one. Okay. Hourly pay or project-based pricing?
Project-based pricing.
Okay. Would you rather dig for gigs or let them come to you?
Let them come to me.
Sometimes it's nice when they just flow, but I also feel like sometimes the good ones you have to dig for. You kind of have to ask for a favor. Hey, like, I see you have this project. Do you have an assistant for it? You know?
True. Oh, at this point, the way I'm sending out emails, like, I'm like,
their inbox hates to see me coming.
I'm like, they might not even open this, but let me
send it.
And you gotta send it again.
And again.
And again. Okay? Like,
how many emails are too many? Because I'm like a quadruple follow-up. I'll follow up 4 times. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, am I bombarding them? How many times do you follow up on something you really want?
Okay. I feel like if it's something I really, really, really want, if I don't get a response after like 3rd follow-up, and I feel like this is not a good habit to have. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, okay, well, there's no availability.
Well, I'm 4, girl, so I'm no better than 3. Yeah.
Well, but I feel like that's a good attitude to have, because sometimes it's not so much about like, it's, if you think of your inbox and like how many emails you might get in a day, sometimes they really just didn't see your email. They might be doing something else and they just don't see it. So,
or they meant to get back to you and they forgot. You ever respond to a text in your head, not actually send
exactly.
it?
Yeah. And it could literally be that, or, you know what I mean? Maybe this project, they don't have the budget anymore, but in a week, they might have another project coming through the pipeline, and you really want them to think of you and consider you. And again, like, you're not always, you're only main character in your life, right? So you got to remember that, and just like, it's an email. It's not going to be bombarding them truly.
House. I'm not ringing their doorbell.
You're not calling their phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really harassment in that way.
Especially if you space it out. Because I'll do like, I'll send my original like day of, or as close as I can to 1 week, 1 month, and I'll usually wait another month. And by then, it's been like 2 months since the first email.
Okay, see, that's fair.
Nice and spaced out. Because if it's like like
girl,
a couple days in a row, like, a couple hours.
No, if I get a response, I'm replying, and then I'm like, okay. If I don't hear nothing back, I'm like, hey,
just
like
following up.
The next day, I'm like, just following up. Like, I'm like,
it's different when you get a response though, because those cold emails, you don't get a response.
Oh yeah, a lot of times you don't, because it could go to spam. It could go all types of places. So with something like that, like sometimes I just kind of forget. But if I'm like, this person is a great person to work with, they're an amazing producer, send an email every couple weeks. Like every 2 weeks would not hurt. They might tell you to stop emailing them. Worst case scenario, or you'll be blocked. You won't even know. You'll get a mailer demon.
Bounce back, right? We know. Right. I got a bounce back or 2 in my day. Yeah,
I'm just saying, it doesn't hurt.
Absolutely. Okay, so this or that, independent or group work?
Independent.
Yeah,
independent.
Working with other people is hard.
I mean, it is, but it's also like, literally all my projects are group projects when you really think about it.
So you like the,
but I
just drive.
It's kind of like, but I do my part
and I'm done.
But it's group work.
Okay, this or that, styling individuals or styling on sets?
Okay, styling individuals. Yeah.
Why?
So, okay. I think in terms of like labor and workload, in my experience, individuals is like lighter. Yeah. Styling on sets, a producer might tell you 3 people and it's really 15.
Okay.
And you have to have enough things for 15 people.
Yeah.
Versus.
So, I guess nothing is provided. You have to source all 15 people's outfits. And if it's a commercial, okay, cute. Like, that's a one and done. But I'm assuming if it's a show...
Oh, you have to have everything.
They're going to be recording multiple days. I'm putting that in quotation marks. So it's like multiple days in the show or whatever you're working on. So then you need, if it's 15 people, multiple days, oh my gosh, it's like 100 outfits.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And you have to have more than that. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what kind of project it is, you have to have more than that. And you have to have like that stuff for a duration of time versus like an individual for like, let's say a press event. Like,
one and done, nice and easy. It's one person. And honestly, one persona.
Yeah,
and they can just tell you, I love it, I hate it, and go with it.
Exactly.
Versus when you're styling even just one character.
Exactly.
It's like now all of these people have to approve. Does that make sense for the character? The writer actually hates this because they would never do this and da-da-da-da. I get it. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, workload? Individual?
Yeah. Okay. When you put it like that, no, it makes sense. Okay. Thank you for coming on Working the Mold. It was so good having you.
Thank you.
Can you tell my friends where they can find you?
You can find me on social medias, on Instagram at aloveisbond.
Yeah.
Oh, and at blazonsparkles.com and Blazing Sparkles on the socials.
Oh my gosh, I wore one of those dresses to an event. What was it? A dinner. Oh, I got so many compliments.
Yeah.
I was like, my friend's website. Girl.
Thank you.
Amazing
Thank you,
dresses.
thank you.
Go shop Blazing Sparkles. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.